for the best grooming products for you, best on natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be a swagger, style, class, and luxury. Make our products that are made for you with high quality. Yeah. So get in style with the black, yeah. Company, you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah. The black, gentleman, black, yeah. Company, you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
Yo. What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to the post-fight show with Stormybman for this Saturday, August 10th, 2024. This is the post-fight show for Ortiz versus Bohachuk, and now also Lopez versus Leo, which just ended as we were getting ready to go on air. So we got a chance to see some boxing this evening that really at some points amazed us with the competitiveness, the heart on display of warriors going at it, engaged in combat, and then the abruptness of how boxing can end. A lot to cover, a lot to kind of take away from this, but we'll go right on into Ortiz versus Bohachuk since it wrapped up about 20 minutes ago. It turned out to be a 12-round majority decision for Virgil Ortiz Jr. An unpopular decision because many people felt, if you watch the fight through and through, that Sergey Bohachuk won this fight pretty much going away. He had 2 knockdowns of Ortiz in the fight, and one knockdown was not even acknowledged by referee Harvey Dock in the first round. I don't know if Doc just had a bad angle of it, but he immediately waved it off. And amazingly, a couple of rounds later, I think it was between the 3rd and 4th rounds, he went to the replay where they were able to show that it was a legitimate knockdown. And then later, in the 8th round, Bohachuk scored a second knockdown in which Virgil fought back valiantly toward the end of that round, but it was not enough to tie the round because of the clean knockdown. We see that some of these judges, and I can't state it enough, they go into these matches and it appears like their scorecards are already mapped out before the fight begins. Because from what we were able to determine in this particular fight between Ortiz Jr. and Bohachuk, they were very familiar with one another. Very familiar. But these judges recognize these names, people. Max DeLuca, David Sutherland, Steve Weisfeld, particularly Steve Weisfeld, who you have seen on the bad end of scorecards submitted when he sits ringside. There is a pattern here. There is something that should be said. Sutherland the same, and Max DeLuca is no better, because in a fight so highly contested, neither of the 3 judges could give more than 113 points for Sergey Bohachuk, who was the champion going in, scored 2 knockdowns, and won the majority of the rounds. This has golden boy yellow piss all over it, people. I just have to say it. There are people who may not be bold enough, but you know this Stormy B man ain't gonna pull no punches, because I'm going for the KO. You feel me? Yes. Let me get to the roll call so we can get down into this. Welcome, everybody. Smash the like button as you come into the building. I know we got family out there that's participating in the LDBC meet and greet, family get together. Listen, man, you guys, I am sick to the stomach that I can't be there with you guys. But it's all love. I hope everybody is having a wonderful time. I even saw that we had some special guests that showed up for that, which is wonderful. I'm glad whomever was present was there to experience that. You just don't know how much it hurt Stormy B man that he couldn't be a part of that. But one day I'll get a chance to meet you all, and possibly even meet some of those special guests that showed up today. But we're going to get to this roll call. Universal Truth first in the building, saying salute Sensei with those channel emojis. Woke is out there saying salute Stormy. Todd Swindle back saying salute Stormy B in chat. Mr. Shelton is out there. He's saying help me, I'm on fire. But you know what the answer is to that, Mr. Shelton. So we're going to keep it moving real fast and act like don't nobody see you ablaze. Jimmy Bernard back with us saying what's good, Sensei. Salute to the chat. Smash the like button while entering the building. Yes, sir. The Messenger 215 is back saying salute to the channel and the chat. Shamar Rashan Shalom is out there saying horrible ass robbery, Sensei. Make it make sense. I wish that I could, Shamar, because this is the type of thing that we're seeing all too often. And it's a very ugly thing for the sport of boxing when they cannot give you just earnest scorecards. When fighters, not so much about trying to help a promoter or a management group that is trying to push agendas, but give us what the fighters have earned. Virgil has nothing to hang his head about his performance. He was in there with a guy that was better on this night. No matter the familiarity with them, no matter that who had the stronger promotion behind him or any of that. When it came down to the performance in the ring, Sergey had his number. King Styles Productions out there saying salute Stormy B Man and salute to the chat. My brother Drew Titan LLC in the building saying listening, salute family. Yes, sir. The Messenger 215 is remarking that they need to run that back. No, they need to give Sergey what he earned. He earned his kill tonight. 2 knockdowns. You're the champ. You won the majority of the rounds. Let's not whitewash this. Let's not overlook what has happened here. See, too many times a person, and when I say a person, I'm talking about fight supporters, boxing supporters, can say something casual and they take you at that gambit because you're not demanding better when you say something like that. And I'm not coming at you, Messenger 215. I'm speaking in a general sense because many people will say things like, I could have saw it as a draw. I could have saw it as this or that. No, say it for what it is, man. Even if it's your favorite guy on the losing end, you clap it up and let's hope that he can get back to the gym, get back to the drawing board and come back better as a result of it. And we've seen this in everyday life. I talk about this on my Tuesday Tussle. If someone is constantly passing you through, you're getting a passing grade. And a passing grade is what? A C minus? If they're passing you and not challenging you to be better and do better, then what do you have to shoot for? If you're average, your instructors, your mentors, your educators should want you to perform at your best and raise the quality of your output so that you can go out in the world and do something special. You have nothing special to shoot for if they're always giving you a pass. Virgil Ortiz did not win tonight, people. He wasn't the better fighter in the main event tonight. Antonio MMA is out there saying salute, Sensei. Alvin Davis says salute. Antonio says, I like Sergey. Steph Brown in the building saying, be well, Stormy B-Man. Salute our chat family here tonight. God be with you. Oh, yeah. Abruptness. Like crazy. Yeah. Arabi Jabbar says, robbery. Boxing is horrible. That was a clear robbery. Yep. William Old School is back with us saying, salute Stormy B-Man. I have to work tomorrow, so I'm just laying down listening. I got you, William. Glad to see you out there, brother. Rest well. Shamar says, especially Tim Cheatham. William says, Virgil lost the fight in my opinion. Steph Brown says, y'all hit the like button coming on in. Facts, man. I hate the politics of boxing. This is sickening. Yeah, woke. I agree. Boxing fan times 4 says, I got a draw or edge to Boha. I think it comes down to round 8. If you feel Virgil did enough to get the point back after the knockdown, and if you think that Bohachuk won round 9, that soft 147 diet hurt Virgil. No, boxing fan times 4. It's nowhere near a freaking draw. See, this is also why, and I'm not coming at you, boxing fan times 4. I'm explaining my disagreement with the remark. You have to know how to score boxing, bro. Clean and effective punching, huh? Ring generalship, quality defense. There were a lot of punches that Sergey was landing. Did you see Virgil's face? Busted up. A lot of Virgil's punches would be caught on the arms and the gloves, but he did score shots. But you would have to ask yourself, and salute to Max Kellerman, who used to say this when he was on Friday night fights on ESPN. He would say, who would you have rather have been at the end of said round? Virgil fought hard early on, and his shots were crisp. You could see his strength, and you could see he was a little bit faster and a little bit more athletic than Sergey. However, after like 4 rounds, and mind you, he was knocked down in the first round, the fight got closer very quickly. As early as round 3, I gave the round to Bohachuk. And the reason that I gave him that round was because though Virgil was doing good business, he was beginning to turn the corner by taking control of his effectiveness with his punching. It was clear, and he presented a danger. Shakers and Dice in the building saying, peace to the chat, Stormy B, man. I enjoyed the card. Yes, we saw some, entertaining boxing on the card. Learn is in the building saying, salute, Stormy B, man. When you score 2 or 3 good shots, and then the guy is walking you down and he's banging you back, he's hitting you with uppercuts and hooks, but it looks like he's taking the power off some of the shots because he just wants to touch you. But you fought hard to land those 2 or 3 shots that you did land, and everything else was missing. Let's just say you threw 20 shots in that round, but you landed a good solid 3 or 4. It's 3 minutes. There were a few clinches in this fight. Referee Harvey Dock, outside of missing the knockdown, was almost invisible. And aside from him asserting himself to tell them to lay off of one another's neck when they got in, he did a good job officiating, except for the missing the knockdown in the first round. These 2 men fought, but the reason that the fight was so engaging as it is because they were familiar. They sparred each other a lot at one time when they were in the same stable. But you have to understand that Virgil was the guy. He had Golden Boy and Oscar behind him, literally and figuratively. Yes, I said it. And he's one of the few fighters that Oscar has on Golden Boy Promotions to throw toward Dazn and Matchroom to present on that network, and to have a hat in the arena of the 154-pound division, which is chock full of talent. And a loss on this night would have really dampened a lot of plans for Golden Boy. But Sergey, if anybody saw his fight against Brian Mendoza, you know he's for real. And those judges tonight, Max DeLuca, Steve Weisfeld, David Sutherland, they acted like Sergey was a guy who was picked out of a European boxing gym. And that's very unfortunate, because he pressed the fight for 3 quarters. My final scorecard had it 9 rounds to 3 with 2 knockdowns. Some rounds were swing rounds, but Virgil Ortiz did not win 7 rounds. He did not. And he was dropped twice. You see, it's very difficult to see these things and be honest and sincere when you have a love or affinity for a particular fighter. This is one of the reasons why I distance myself. I can look at it clearly. There were rounds when Virgil was doing good work, and that doggone Bohachuk, was right there on top of him, still on top of him. And that 1-2 with that right hand straight down the pipe through Virgil's guard, snapping his head back. He threw a lot of right hands, but he didn't overthrow them. But I was actually asking for a few more, because if he had thrown a few more, he possibly could have dropped them straight from that. But what I noticed that Bohachuk, because he was not giving him rhythm, he was giving him offset rhythm, and that made it difficult for Virgil. Even when he tried to go back to boxing late in the fight, which was a nice adjustment for him, but he should have did it a little bit earlier, because he was fatigued from how hard he was fighting early on. But he did not win this fight on this night. Adrian Viet is out there saying, salute Sensei. Lauren says, best fight I've seen all year. I picked Virgil to win, but I thought Bohachuk won by a round. He won by far more than a round, brother, with 2 knockdowns. Far more. And if you haven't seen, if that's the best fight you've seen all year, if you haven't seen McKenna versus Laws from last weekend, broadcast on Sky Sports and Peacock Television, go back and watch that fight. 3 rounds of Hagler Hearns, Ward Gotti type action. But see, that's why I do what I do and cover the sport. I don't cover just fighters that you may know. Got a video up about it. go back and watch the fight there. I will guarantee you entertainment. Shakers and Dice says those cards were typical Golden Boy cards. Wink, wink. Jimmy Bernard says those point cards were already prepared since yesterday, Sensei, sliding those orange envelopes in their jackets. Yup. Universal Truth says these are the decisions that are killing boxing. We just want to see the best fight the best. Don't care about names. Lauren says how often you see a guy hurt keeps coming forward. You see it a lot because they don't know what else to do. There are various things you could do, and I'm not going to cover that in this live stream tonight when you get hurt. I actually thought and believed that Virgil was fighting a dumb fight. Some of you may not understand that, but maybe I'll break it down on the next Tuesday tussle. When your performance is dumb. Yeah. Steph Brown says, I agree, Storms. I didn't think Ortiz took the belt from the champ. I thought Manny Robles gave great instructions, by the way. Chop your opponent down. It's a marathon. That's how Sergey fought all night. Threw Ortiz off majorly. Mahari Nation Sports Podcast in the building saying, good evening, Stormy B Man. Having a great time in Atlanta. Oh, Mahari Nation. You out here in my chat. You mean you ain't in your hotel room with the do not disturb sign on the doorknob? You ain't doing that? What you doing out here with talking about Stormy B Man? Huh? And I see that Mahari kind of tall there. You stretched up there. You taller than some of the other brothers out there. Yeah. How that basketball going with you and Junior? Steph Brown says, heck, Virgil didn't set anything up. He tried changing rhythm in the mid rounds, but that's not his faction. Right. Virgil fought a dumb fight. You see, Steph Brown is starting to come around. Huh? Now, I don't mean just arriving on the scene. I'm talking about coming around with his open-mindedness toward knowing what you're seeing on the telly. He says that's why he got caught twice. He got caught more than twice. He went down twice. And you notice how each time he went down, he gets up and waves like, hey, that wasn't a knockdown. Dude, it was a knockdown. You was on your ass, huh? Or on your gloves, huh? Because you use your gloves to prop yourself back up on your feet. When your gloves touch the canvas, it's a knockdown. And you have to understand how he would feel with his former sparring partner putting him on the canvas. Think about that. Yeah. Just a little bit embarrassed and a whole lot of upset about it, huh? Which made him fight outside of himself even more. But a reckless tiger like that, you can get in there with Bud Crawford if you want to. Only thing he gonna do is knock you out, because you're gonna give him plenty of opportunity. Plenty of opportunity. Wise men say only fools rush in. Yeah! Bring it on. Bring it on. See, I'm not dismayed or swayed by the BS, man. I just know that it exists, huh? That's why I keep plenty of toilet paper around. Yeah. Mahari says, remember last Sunday when you talked about how it's not difficult to score a fight, but the corruption is what hurting boxing the most. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And see, here we are a week removed from me saying that and revisiting the subject once again. It's freaking ridiculous. We should be able to enjoy the fights. If they had given that decision to Sergey, people could go off into their next day fine, including Virgil, because he know he didn't win that damn fight. But the person who was most happy for the victory wasn't even Virgil. It was Oscar. You could see it in Oscar's face. He gonna do an extra couple of lines tonight on that. Foolishness. Ravens Nation in the building. He says, if Virgil actually would have had more rounds instead of putting them in there with their guys he could knock out in 2 rounds, he might have been better prepared. William says, Stormy B, man, that was a beautiful knockout by Leo on Lopez. Excuse me. Listen, man. Just as I was setting up the live to hit the live button, Leo hit Lopez with that left hook on the chin. And it was a ugly, brutal ending to that, because not only did he catch him flush with a shot to drop you flat on your back, but he slammed his head on the canvas with no protection. And I'm going to tell you something. The canvas, people, is not soft. That's a wood floor under that mat. And his head hit that solidly. That was like double impact. That's why he looked so groggy when he got up and sat on that stool, because he didn't know what had hit him, man. It's like, it's a damn shame. But it was a great knockout by Leo. Salute to him. He's world champion now. And hey, man, Lopez has found that just like you could do it to others, it can happen to you. It can happen to you. Jeff Spark is in the building. He says, Stormy B, man, salute, peace to you. Right back at you, brother. Ravens Nation says, I hate judging fighters based on one performance, but this is Ortiz's first real fight, and I got Madrimov and Zoo beating him. Listen, Madrimov will beat him. Tim Tszyu will probably stop him. Todd Swindle says, salute William, old school. See, Virgil fought emotional in the opening rounds. That's why he found himself on the canvas as early as round 1. Pulling out with a lazy jab, Bohachuk threw that right hand over that jab across his temple, over his ear, and dropped him. It was a flash knockdown. He wasn't hurt, but it was a knockdown. And everything else he had done during the fight was off of emotion. He was going after Bohachuk because he wanted to prove, I'm better than you. All he had to do was box the guy, conserve some power, because he had never gone the distance before. And this is a championship fight. Set your shots up, son. And I know that Robert Garcia had him well prepared, but Robert probably didn't want to tell him, don't fight this way, fight that way, because maybe he would lose him. But late in the fight, he did tell him, I need you to box. After he had that performance, and I believe what was the 10th round, he told him, we need more rounds like that to close the show. But he should have told him that a little bit sooner. See, sometimes the trainers can get caught up too. But they are there to help you be guided toward victory, not just to be words of inspiration and instruction and direction in the corner. They have to have many hats. Virgil took a lot of punishment in this fight unnecessarily. And if he's going to fight like that, he's going to have some hard nights. See, even though Bohachuk took a few good shots throughout that fight, it didn't affect him the same way it affected Virgil, because he looked out for himself, his well-being. And you saw how Virgil never got that left hook into the body like he was really trying to get, because Bohachuk, who had to be reminded in that first round, oh, I better keep that elbow tucked closer, and he did. And there is something about these television analysts when they see action happening from both men, and when one guy lands a shot but gets countered, they don't never acknowledge the counter shot. They only acknowledge the guy who landed first. There were a few exchanges in tonight's fight that reminded me of when Crawford and Madrimov fought last week, where, you know, Madrimov might have scored a shot, but Bud Crawford scored the counter shot that was more solid, and they didn't acknowledge it. But it happened in this fight where Virgil landed maybe a right hand in one instance or a left hook in another, and Bohachuk landed a counter to each shot, a right hand counter to Virgil's left hook, or a left hook counter to Virgil's right hand, and they are not picking it up. This is how you know guys are not looking at boxing. They're looking at their guy. And their guy on this evening, on this broadcast, was Virgil. He's the one that's got the deal with Matchroom, Dazn, rather, Golden Boy and Dazn. And they're always talking up their guys. They cannot call a fight down the middle or a fight open and earnestly to save their lives. And they've even tainted Gabe Rosado. He's in there talking foolishness now. And I'm like, dude, first of all, you know, it's nice that you retired and got an opportunity like this, but my goodness, you don't have to start pulling those cocks out, you know, and getting your lips all oiled up. You know, it's like, just be a professional. Man, that stuff makes me sick, man, listening to these guys. Ravens Nation says, I agree. He didn't set anything up really, but that could also be he knew his opponent wasn't the best counterpuncher. Yeah. I said they were familiar with each other. They had done a lot of time in the gym together. I said that. See, this is when I cover the bases, I cover the freaking bases. Whether you heard me when I said it or not, I did say it. And the whole point of it is that's why this fight went the way it did. Because you had one guy who felt like he was better than the other guy. And that was Virgil feeling that he was better than Sergey. However, Sergey is good. He's world class. Top promoter or not. If they had a top billing in this fight, meaning Bohachuk, excuse me, I'll say Sergey. If Sergey had the lead promoter, that ring would have been the size of a shoebox that I put my shoes in. Then Virgil would have been in trouble. Steven Zen in the building saying salute to Stormy B. Great fight with Ortiz. Ortiz isn't beating Crawford or Ennis. It was not a great fight for Ortiz. He took a lot of unnecessary punishment, and he got away with a decision that didn't belong to him. It really sucks when you can't get the type of decision out of these performances that are just. Fighters work too hard, man. They train too hard in the gym. The sacrifices they make on their bodies and their families. And to not be awarded for your performance. There's something terribly not right about that, and I wish that we could get beyond and get that turned around. But I've spoken so many times about these judges. If you start getting rid of these guys and bringing fresh judges in, and they don't have to be fresh like they've never scored a championship fight before, but there are judges out there. Stop using these same old guys who give you these shitty ass scorecards. This fight was in Vegas. Let's not see Steve Weisfield and Max DeLuca and David Sutherland for a while. Let's not see those guys. And if you're going to keep bringing those officials back, make them sit down and explain why they gave the scores that they did. That's only fair. Can you tell us how you had Virgil winning 114 and 112 with being dropped twice? It's like you saying that he won all the rounds that he didn't get dropped in. Steph Brown is asking, what do you think of Harvey Dock? I think he's a decent referee. He's decent. He's not the best. Remember, he had a boo-boo in the first round. He didn't score the knockdown. It was clean and apparent. Jimmy Bernard is asking, can Bohachuk appeal the fight? He most certainly can. It's more than likely nothing's going to become of it. But if the promotion was on the other foot, what they would more than likely do, like say if he was Golden Boy's fighter and Oscar was his promoter, and Tom Loeffler was Virgil's promoter, what would happen is they would probably get the sanctioning bodies to issue a rematch. Yeah, Steph Brown, that's what I call it. You know, how you make it was a clean knockdown. Even as I'm watching it, I was listening to the fight call. The fight call said, "Oh, he's down." I said, "Oh, he's down." And they were like, "Oh, the ref didn't call it a knockdown, so it must have been a slip." I was like, "Wait a minute, that's a knockdown." Then they weren't even talking about let's see the replay or anything. But when they did show the replay, it was clear that it was a knockdown. Now those guys are sitting there saying, "Oh, well, guys," Rosado was like, "Guys, that's a knockdown. You morons. You're sitting right there." I be paying attention to it, man. Yeah, Steph Brown, they are horrible. A cast of clowns. All of them. And see, they don't think about integrity. They don't think about, let's give the best broadcast that we could give, guys. Let's give the people at home full enjoyment and let them know, let's call the hell out of these fights. No, they're out there. Well, this guy is contracted with Dazn. This guy is contracted with Matchroom. Let's make sure that we big him up for the. You don't need to big up a fighter. When a fighter performs in the ring, you can see how big he is or she is. You don't have to do the job of the promoter for them. It was that bullshit ass type of commentary last week that had people thinking that maybe Bud Crawford is slipping and that he really didn't win the fight against Madrimov and all of this, when Madrimov did absolutely not a goddamn thing to try to win the fight and to try to turn back the challenge of Bud Crawford. He was content with just going the distance with the pound for pound guy. But Ed Hearn was telling anybody who would listen leading up to the first bell, oh, I think this is the night that we get Crawford. I think that this is the night he actually gets stopped by Madrimov. Where was the stoppage at? Bud wasn't nowhere near being stopped. And if Crawford's people or whatever was talking about stopping Madrimov, which they were not, that's all you would hear is somebody rubbing their nose in that. Oh, I thought you were going to stop him. Well, you didn't stop him. All that talk about stopping him. You couldn't even do it. All of that kind of foolishness. That's what they would do. Madrimov was 29 years old, 8 years younger. 29 less fights. Man, if you don't get the hell up out of here. Ravens Nation, it's not about that, brother. Deontay Wilder had knocked out damn near everybody, but they only complained about him not being able to box. Floyd wasn't getting a lot of knockouts, but they were saying he not knocking nobody out. I mean, what the fuck do a guy gotta do? Seriously, a black guy, what does he gotta do? You can't see the foolishness? Put it out there all the time and see you guys catch it. Like in the air, there's flies flying around. You catch them and snatch them and you eat them and you digest it and you spew the same shit out of your mouth. And your breath be stinking because this shit that comes out of your mouth. Regurgitating the foolishness. You've never heard me sit up here and utter foolishness about these matches. Never. You got people out here talking about Bud Crawford ain't fought nobody. Being dismissive of his accomplishments for whatever reason. I personally think it's two things going on with that. It's intercultural bias and bigotry and prejudice, and it's aligned with he being a black man, a dark black man. Yeah. If he was bright skinned like Tank Davis, y'all would love him. Funny how that works, but it's true. There's a history of that foolishness. It's just like, some of y'all, you can't get your eyes off of some of them red bones, huh? But if a sister is dark as a berry, then it's like, hey, you know, you look at excuses to like her. Oh, she got a fat butt, or she got big boobs, huh? But if they rainbow bright, it's all right. Intercultural prejudices set us back 200 years. The decisions on boxing is so bad. You had people last week talking about Pitbull should have got at least a draw out of the fight with Rayo. Rayo boxed the shit out of that one-dimensional dude. But people mad because he got the decision. Why are you mad that the decision went the right way? It shouldn't have been a split decision. It should have been unanimous. Couple years from now, you ain't gonna even remember Pitbull. Hello, trolls. Hello, blinds and bush peepers. Peepers. So my last word on Ortiz versus Sergey. Ortiz didn't win that fight. He did not. Isaiah W., salute. Now, Charles Conwell versus Kieri Gray. Nice little matchup, but Conway dismissed Gray in 2 rounds. An awesome body shot, left hook to the liver, made Mr. Gray quiver. It was over. That 154-pound division is something else, man. Now that Kenneth Sims Jr. versus Jonathan Romero. Sims was in total control of that fight. One day maybe he and Conwell may mix it up. He got a 5th round stoppage. And of course, you had flyweight champion Gabriela Fundora. She came out there against Daniela Asenio, and she basically took the fight to Asenio for 10 rounds, cutting the ring off on her, putting hands on her. Asenio was game. She fought, but there was no way she was going to win that fight with Gabriela. Gabriela was trying to knock her head off too. She's so height and rangy at that weight class, like the other member of her family and Sebastian. They present a difficult picture for most of the opponents that they're going to face. Now, Joel Iritari against Miguel Ortiz, that was a welterweight bout that just saw Ortiz get crushed in 1 round. That was like, you know, started the night off awkward. I should get more likes than what I'm getting, man. There's too many people watching this show that won't hit the like button. Straight foolishness. Guess we'll hear from my man, the Focus Ball, right now.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a focus ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a focus ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a focus ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a focus ball. When you train with the focus ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit. Making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the focus ball now.
Yep. So we're coming to the end of another post-fight show. Boxing just can't seem to get it right. But we did see some good fights this evening. That fight could have been a candidate of Fight of the Year, but they blew it with the decision. That decision sucked all types of ass, and I am not going to pretend like it didn't happen. It was horrible. Salute to Boxing Fan ×4 with his super chat. He says, just got done rewatching. Got Bohachuk winning clearly. Listen, man. It is what it is. But until people protest and complain about what they should protest and complain, it's going to be what it is, man. It's going to be what it is. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But it is what it is. We're going to move forward. Appreciate those who came out and showed some real support. For those who didn't want to show support, that's your choice. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Catch you on the next one.